When Denise and I met, I believe it was definitely a divine appointment. And the very first conversation we had was so sweet and fun, and it was over lunch at what we call my office, Panera. And we had such a good conversation just about telling our stories and our love for women and our love in ministering to women. And we've both spent years of ministering to women in the church and Christian women. And yet at the same time, there was a deep longing in both of our hearts to reach out to women who are not typically in church and typically would not come into a church. Those that are truly broken and hurting and clothed in shame. And you know, the Bible says to go to the highways and the byways, and Denise and I found that part of our highways and byways, the new ones that God was opening up, was in the dark, seedy places in our city.
In the Nashville, Tennessee area alone, there are over 50 adult bookstores, strip clubs, and escort services. And inside the walls of these dark places, there are people's sisters, mothers, daughters, and friends. It's a place where broken hearts reside who have simply forgotten their value. Proverbs 4:23 tells us, above all else, guard your heart. Why? Because it is our most priceless treasure. And yet so often these valuable hearts are sold to the lowest bidder. Love Nashville is the outreach arm of Reclaiming Hearts Ministries. The last few years, our sole focus has been to go into the strip clubs and adult bookstores of our city. There, we've been privileged to deliver over 1,000 gifts to the women who work there, and lots of boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts to the men.
Reading in Denise's most recent book, Reclaiming Your Heart, she talks about shame and how people who walk in shame, they literally hide. It forces them into isolation. And that's what we see in these clubs. We see women just clothed in layers and layers of shame, hiding behind it, you know, lost and broken and hurting. But we have the good news, and to be able to say, you know, I think of Denise, she always calls him baby girl. Baby girl, you have value far beyond this. This is not what God created you for. It's so much more. You are a treasure and a value to the Most High God.
What I didn't realize was that in the hundreds of women from all denominations who come together to pray and worship and put these beautiful gifts together, I didn't realize how their hearts would be impacted. This is one of their stories.
When I went to the event, it was very difficult for me to worship, and it was very difficult for me to pray for the women in these nude strip clubs. And I didn't really know why. And then Denise started talking about a specific strip club in town as she was sharing some of the details of the initiative. And the Lord, that was the same exact nude strip club that was a source of pain for me as I was going through a divorce. And that was really impactful. I felt like the Lord was saying, you are here for a purpose and for a reason. It was almost like He put a spiritual mirror in front of me and showed me the condition of my heart and showed me that I was angry at them and I was bitter and I needed to forgive them. And He used a situation when I was driving one time through the interstate, and I remember seeing this specific strip club that Denise talked about during the event. And I remember feeling so angry that all I could do was curse it as I was driving through the freeway, through the interstate. And the Lord showed me that, or reminded me of that during the event. And He used that to show me the condition of my heart, that I was bitter and angry, and that I needed to forgive them. As we were wrapping each gift, I felt like I was putting my love and forgiveness in action. As I wrote every note that said, cherished, you are loved, you are lovely, you're valuable, you're worthy. These little notes we attached to the gifts, as I did every single one of those, God healed me. I felt like He went deeper into my heart and healed me. And He showed me through those notes what He thought of these women. And even He showed me what He thought of me. And that was quite impactful for me. I was not only there to make the decision to forgive, but I was there to show it with my actions.
We know God has other initiatives that Love Nashville will do in the future. But right now, this is where we're called. And so each time we take this beautiful gift into these darkened rooms, what we're trying to get them to see is the gift of Jesus, and that all they have to do is receive it. And we believe mighty things will continue to happen as we walk this out in obedience.